All right, guys, thanks for coming down today. Real quickly, if you could give me a brief introduction, who you are and what you do.
Yeah, my name is Brandon Hofhines. I'm the CEO and founder of Squatch Juice.
Excellent. What can you tell us about Squatch Juice?
What I wanted to do was create something that was going to be super beneficial for not just your physical health, but for your mental health. And so we have all your vitamins in it, your B, C's, and D's with the energy and focus, and it's the methylated type of vitamins. So you're going to retain a lot more of those vitamins, so like 95%. And then we have some nootropics in there. So you have ruthenium, theocrine, and L-tyrosine, which has been proven to really help with the mind and really is like the best brain food that you can put into your body. So it helps with like adapting to stress, overcoming like negative thinking, having you have like a little bit more of a positive outcome or thought process, and then helps you really kind of put together and form your sentences a lot better. So no more brain cloud.
Wow.
So it's really, really, really good for you. We don't use any dyes. We don't use any synthetics. So the caffeine's real caffeine from the coffee bean seed, 150 milligrams, is extracted and then dehydrated. And then the fruit's also dehydrated. So that's where you're going to be getting like your sweetness, right? Along with stevia is what we use. And we use Form A. So if you're really familiar with all those types of ingredients, I know that Albert is, there's 43 different derivatives of stevia. A lot of people don't know that. And then there's going to be 3 natural, like the most pure, right? A, B, and C. We use A. And then all of our ingredients are 97% in purity, and we test it third party. We have to make sure that it's what we say it is and that it is at 97% or higher in purity. And if it's not, we throw it out and start over. The hydration is really, really just hydration. That's it. There is no caffeine in it, no dyes, no synthetics. It looks clear, so it looks just like water. And then it has 500 milligrams of sodium, 150 potassium, and 20 magnesium. And it's the citrate type, so you're going to retain a lot more of that as well. So it's actually a lot better for not just your body, your muscles, and your joints, but it's also really good for your gut and your intestine and all that other stuff. So dehydrated fruit with that as well. 5 calories in the hydration, 3 calories in the energy and focus. Just really striving to be the cleanest drink on the market.
Can I just take a look at the bag real quick? Just to get my brain wrapped around some of these ingredients.
Absolutely. Take a look at it. So we have a couple of other benefits to it, like your vitamin D. We're finding out that our bodies need more vitamin D than vitamin C. And so when we start drinking more of this stuff, because of the vitamin D potency that we have in it and the purity, we're starting to find that a lot of people are starting to feel a lot healthier. Bones are getting stronger. And so especially right now, we're getting into the winter season.
Right.
Vitamin D comes very heavily in the summer because we're outside all the time and it comes from the sun, right?
Yeah.
And so that's something that's going to be deficient as we go into the winter months. So it's definitely something that you want to add into your, daily routine, if you will. Put it in your cabinet and have it there. And then we have some like joint, if you want to say like boosters in it. So if you suffer from joint pain, fibromyalgia, or arthritis, especially when it gets colder, this is going to help relieve that. And then with the pineapple mango and the energy and focus, we put turmeric root in there, which is also
reducing inflammation.
Exactly. Yep. And it's also really great for your cardiovascular. So now it's not a heck of a lot of turmeric that's in there, but it's enough to, if you drink it on a daily basis, it does do a lot better. So I met Albert with his place of business, because right across the street's my really good friend who owns a barbershop, and he's been cutting my hair for like the last 6 months. And he's like, dude, why is your hair coming in so much thicker? Like, are you putting Rogaine in? I'm like, no, man. And he goes, are you literally just drinking Squatch Juice every day? I'm like, I drink it every day. I don't drink anything else. And so the last time I went in, he goes, you have a full head of hair now.
Wow.
I don't know what that is. I don't know. He's like, and you look at the science behind it, and you start to saying, okay, if I'm taking all these vitamins, these B vitamins, and if they're really good B vitamins, they have been known to help like boost or like re-up the hair follicles to help regrow your hair. So I don't know. He just said that I have a full head of hair. So I don't know. There's like no scientific proof behind it. But I mean, I can't think of anything else because I still eat pizza and hot dogs, and hamburgers. But anyway.
And is this like a once a day kind of supplement?
So you could take it a couple of times. So the energy and focus has only got 150 milligrams of caffeine, right? So the max that you really want to take is right around 400 milligrams on a daily basis, right? Yeah. So what you could do is take that 2, maybe 3 times, okay? So that's going to be 450. but I wouldn't recommend it. There's no reason to, because of how we formulated this. You're not going to have a crash. Like with all the other energy drinks that are out there, you can go and have a drink in the morning, and then 2 hours later, boom, I need another one.
Yeah.
2 hours later, boom, I need another one. With this one, how we formulated it, it's actually like a steady release of the vitamins, the nootropics, the dynamine, and then the caffeine. So you have an 8-hour long span of pure energy and focus. And the energy is not going to give you like this heart throbbing, like, oh my gosh, my heart's going to pound out of my chest. I get the shakes. I get the, whatever you want to call it, the jitters.
Right.
You're just super dialed in and you're super focused. And that's how it's working. It's like all of a sudden you can think clearly, you're dialed in, you can get your projects done. We have people that are on the energy and focus, and we have kids, we have adults. And I got off the phone with one of my new people that I just brought onto my team. Her husband has been on anti-anxiety and Ritalin and all this other stuff for his ADHD. And he is now on this. He's been doing it for about a month and a half. He takes it every day and he loves it. And he says, it's changed my life. I'm off my medication.
Wow.
There's a kid that's up in Spokane that we're going to be doing a video with here pretty soon. Same thing. He gets on Squatch Juice. He feels completely happy. He's got a story, and I'm not going to tell you what it is because I want you guys to watch it. But the story is so compelling and it's so inspiring that people need to hear it. And so he's finally saying, I feel comfortable sharing it because it really is inspiring. And he's only 16. And so he's off his meds and he's now on Squatch Juice. He loves it. My nephew, he drinks the optimal hydration. He suffered from chronic migraines every single day for like years. Went to 7 doctors, couldn't figure it out. Started drinking the Squatch Juice, has not had one migraine since.
Wow.
And so there's just a lot of stuff that we're seeing and we're getting reports on from our customers saying like, this is how it's helping them. Everybody's body's different. You know that.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to react a little bit different to the ingredients. But so far, everybody's been reacting super positive. We haven't had one person come back and be like, oh my gosh, like this stuff's killing me. Like it's actually been improving their health. And that was my whole goal, right? Is we all drink some sort of an energy drink. We drink coffee, we drink, tea, you're drinking tea.
Right.
Now it depends on the tea, right? A lot of teas are very healthy for you, but there's a lot of tea out there that's not.
Right.
And I wanted to make sure that I could create something that pretty much 800 billion people could drink. And unless you're like allergic to some of the fruit, because there's real fruit. But not everyone's going to be allergic to pineapple, mango, watermelon, strawberry, kiwi, and lemonade all at the same time.
Right.
Even the kids can drink the hydration, and they love the hydration. It's way better than Gatorade, a lot healthier.
I know. Gatorade is just, honestly,
pure sugar.
it's trash.
Yeah.
It really is. It's just, you've got your sugar, even the zero. I mean, you look at the ingredients, right? So like if you look back when Gatorade was actually first invented, right? Before it got bought out, it only had 6 ingredients. It's got over 50 now.
Ugh.
So my hydration's got
Disturbing.
3 ingredients. I mean, you don't need all that junk. You don't need dyes. Oh, I want it to look yellow. I want it to look red. And now we're linking and we're starting to see from science and from studies like Red 40,
Oh, yeah.
like the blue dyes, the yellow dyes, all of those dyes are contributing to some sort of mental like disability, if you will. And it could be Alzheimer's, dementia, which is now we're starting to find that's diabetes 3. And then it's also linked to like mood swings, thinking negatively, and just not being you.
And you don't see those ingredients in Europe, for example, those food dyes.
That's exactly right.
Which is crazy, and because they know that they're not healthy for us. And what is it about the United States where we somehow justify using these things? It doesn't make sense.
I'll tell you why. It's because we have been, how can I say this? Because I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but it's the truth.
Do it.
Yeah.
The thing is we as a nation have been so consumed by the dollar. And what we want more than anything is money. And we've become greedy. And what happened is you see all of these legislators, you see all of these people that are in the government that will pass these laws because they get a kickback.
Yep.
And if you don't believe me, you can go and you can look. Every single one of these people have had a kickback. Every one of our politicians, everybody who's gone into office or who's gone into the House or whatever, they've all started out with like making $50, $90 to $100,000 a year. And by the time they're out of office, they're at like $20, $30 million.
Oh, yeah.
Where do you think that comes from? Their salary is only $250,000 a year.
Yeah.
I mean, let's do some math here, right? And
Yep.
let's do some thinking. So you start looking at that and saying, okay, we need to start changing because they're more concerned about lining their pockets with money. I'm more like concerned about lining our bodies with the natural nutrients and the ingredients that we need. So it costs me more to make this. We're the same cost with everybody else, where we should be like 60, 65, maybe $70. But we're not. And it's because we're not in it for the money. We're in it to make people healthier. And I'll tell you why is because I have gone through some pretty traumatic stuff in my life. And I don't want to see other people do that. I want to take a curve off of our mental illness. My dad took his life 6 years ago. I've now had 14 friends and family members take their lives over my lifespan. Now that seems like a lot of people, right? That is a lot of people. Mm-hmm. I've been very fortunate and very blessed to know a lot of people throughout my life. And when you know a lot of people, you're also going to have not just the joy, but the turmoil and the tragedy. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be a lot more of it. I have a couple of other Facebook groups. I have a couple of other like entities and businesses that I do run on, like from Squatch Juice. And a lot of these people are my friends that are part of that. And we've all been impacted either directly or indirectly by mental health or suicide. I mean, you probably know someone who's committed suicide.
Absolutely, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Albert?
Yep.
And that's something like is the silent pandemic that we're all facing. We are not being told by our leaders who say they have our best interest at hand that the number one killer in this world is suicide. There's over 1 million people now that are committing suicide in the world every year. Mm-hmm. Every 40 seconds, someone's taking their life in the world. And so you start looking at like, okay, what about the Americas? Where's that at? We're actually one of the top in the entire nation.
Are we really?
We are. And the males will actually do it more. The females, we're starting to see, will think about it more. Mm. And we're starting to see a huge climb with elderly people and then young people as well. And so you start looking at that and saying, okay, 15% of the American people will actually think about suicide. 15%. So if you think that's 3 million people, or 300 million, mm-hmm. 15%, that's a lot. 20% of those people will actually try to plan something out and do it. 5% will actually do it. 20% of the 5% will actually succeed. So that's a huge number, and that's something that we need to do collectively as a whole to change. No one's doing anything about it. It's all about guns. It's all about knives. It's all about this. It's all about that. Like, we need to face mental health.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like, what is the root cause, right? What's the common thread between all those who are planning and ultimately do it, mm-hmm. right? I mean, from what I've learned, a lot of it's just the mental health stemming from metabolic health.
Yeah,
metabolism. So can we fix what we consume here, but also here and here, all that, right? Which has effect on how we perceive and think, and then also take our actions throughout our day.
It's exactly right. Well, one thing that I've been noticing, I've been doing a lot of studying about this, is because I don't want just the juice to be like the cure-all, right? It's not going to be a cure-all. Mm-hmm. What else do we need to do to make a difference, right? And you start looking, and scientifically it's been proven that if you do this one thing, you're going to start shifting your brain, and you're going to start rewiring your brain to be on a more positive platform. And it's the simplest thing, and it's something that we don't really even talk about. It's not even something that we really even try to inspire into our young kids anymore. And it's super simple. It's just being grateful.
Mm. Wow.
Showing gratitude.
Wow.
And if you sit here and you just are grateful for the things that you've been given, and you count your blessings, and you do all of that each and every day, like the first thing that you do is you wake up and you count 3, 1. Start with 1, and then move to 3, and then move to 6. Then you're going to start seeing a huge shift in how you process things throughout the day. And you're going to be like, wow, like I don't have that much anxiety. I don't have that much stress. Mm. And I'm thinking a lot more positive because I am a blessed person. We get the TV that we watch. I don't watch TV anymore. I don't watch the news. Mm-hmm. It's just all negative. Mm-hmm. And it's done for a reason. Mm-hmm. And we need to get away from that.
Well, first of all, 15%, you said 15% of people
will think about it.
Think about suicide.
Yep.
That actually feels kind of low for some reason. to me.
Yeah, I mean, but
Considering-
if you do 15% of 300 million,
It's crazy.
that's
It's
a huge.
lot.
That's a lot of people.
I'll be honest with you. I don't know. It was probably 3 months ago. I was in the darkest place I've ever been in my life, and I was sitting right here, and I was just like, "Fuck, I don't even want to be here anymore." Like, and I was like so grateful for my kids because that's the first thing you see. But it only took just a moment to snap out of it because again, once you see your children's faces, you know, those kinds of thoughts, there's no room for them. You know.
Yep.
And that's why the world seems very dark right now. There's a lot of controversy and just division, but I think that is an indicator of the other side of this as well. And I think there's a huge upside, and it's like an awakening, this awareness of like, wow, look what we can do together if we're building community and holding each other up.
Yep.
That's just my quick 2 cents.
I mean, you made something that kind of just pop into my head is when we get into that despair, we get into that moment of like, I just want to end it all, right? It's a moment of weakness. And a lot of people don't understand what that really truly means, a moment of weakness, right? And I think that if you really kind of put that on a scalable level of, is it easier to go downhill or is it easier to go uphill? You know, or is it easy just to say I'm done and quit and sit down, right? It's all about a mind game, right? It's all about like your mental. And when we start thinking like you found your purpose, okay, I'm going to start climbing that hill back. I'm going to try to get out of this despair.
Right.
It is work. And we've been conditioned, but we're engineered that way. That's how our brain works. Our brain works as it's a defense mechanism. It's a survival mechanism. And we've got to really retrain our brain. I think that's another purpose of why we're here on Earth is, or even life, whatever that may be for you is, you know, we need to grow and we need to adapt and we need to progress.
That's right.
Are you in that 15% yourself?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that here's the thing too, is like we talk about weakness, right? Weakness is strength and strength is weakness. And so when you talk about it and you bring it out, and that's why I want to start this like podcast with Albert. I mean, we can sit down, we can talk about it, and we share experiences. We bring people on, and like yourself, and we talk about it, right? A lot of people think like that's weakness. I'm gonna like talk about it. People are gonna think I'm weak because I want to kill myself. No, like that's you coming out. That's strength, but you holding it in. Makes it worse. Yeah. That's your weakness, man, because that's what you're comfortable with. Be uncomfortable being comfortable, or being comfortable being uncomfortable, whatever. And so I am. I've been there multiple times. And again, it was the kids. But then there's also another thing of like, if I'm going through this, there's got to be other people going through this. How can we help them? We're going to have a situation. Each and every one of us are going to have the same situation. We're going to do one of two things. We're either going to say, I'm the victim and poor me. I can't believe this happened to me. Why is life happening to me? Or the other one is like, I'm really grateful for that opportunity.
Press up against that.
I learned from it. And I'm like now seeing that life happens for me. It's what are you going to do? How are you going to change your mindset?
And just telling stories about how people found that.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden it's just kind of like, you know what? Here's the thing is we are a species that like to be grouped. We need companionship. We need, as much as we all want to have that mountain cabin, be completely secluded, that's only good for so long. You have to go into town. You have to socialize. You have to be around other people, right? And we have to be around like-minded people. So when you know like you're not the only one and you can share those feelings and someone's just like, oh my gosh, you relate.
Right. You're more at peace.
Yeah. You're like, I'm not the only one.
You ever been to a different country and you're like in public transit? They're all different like, kinds of people. But then you see an American, you hear English, you're like, oh my gosh, there it is. You ever experienced that?
Sometimes it's the opposite though. I'm like, oh no, there's no American here.
But yeah, that's a whole like tribe mentality, right?
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah, you have to find your tribe. That's exactly right.
I feel like that 50% is probably on the rise even. It wouldn't surprise me.
We are seeing a huge rise. I mean, we're starting to see a huge rise with especially our vets, you know?
Yes.
And so it used to be 22 a day. And I think we're up to 44 a day now.
Double that.
Yeah, double that. So what are we doing as a nation? What are we doing as a whole to really start educating and helping with mental health, right? We always talk about our physical health. We always talk about like our bodies need to be in the peak performance and all this other stuff. But we're really not talking much about our brain. Like we really aren't. Like there's not really a program out there that's like focusing just on your brain, right? Like you do a ton of great training, right? And that comes from mindset, from what you do. Like yours is not easy, right? It's not like just going to a gym and like I'm gonna go bust out like 5 reps and 15 reps. It's like his stuff is extreme. If you guys haven't watched it, go watch it, right? But it's a mindset. But even with that mindset, I know a lot of people that are still doing that still suffer from mental health. They're not doing anything on the mental health side, right? So that's something that we need to start really doing is like, how about we open up a gym for the mind? How about we open up like a facility where we can actually not only just now strengthen our core and strengthen our body, but let's strengthen our mind. What can we do? Let's take an hour, let's take 2 hours a day, and let's go in and let's reshape our mind. Like that's what we need to start doing, and that's what we need to start focusing on. And that's what my goal is like hopefully down the road that we can like, I don't want to make a ton of money off. Like I'm not in this for the money. I'm not in this to make billions of dollars. I know the money's going to come. I'm fine just living comfortably with what I need, right? To meet my needs. I was talking to my team and I was like, when we start making this type of money, like this is what my plan is. And they're all on board and we're going to be giving back. Like we don't need $100 billion to live off of.
Who does is the question.
Yeah, who does? And we want to start giving back. Like there's a lot of things that we have in store that we would like to do with this. And one of them is starting like a clinic like that. One of them is actually going out and helping other people who really deserve it and helping them go find jobs or help them start getting a lot healthier mentally and physically. We start partnering with gyms. We start partnering with other people, doctors, psychiatrists, all that kind of stuff, right? And then we pay for it. Like that's what I would love to do. If I had a really good friend who had his house burned down. He paid a contractor $500,000, money that he saved. The contractor took it and ran. Has no house. They're living out of a trailer. And it's seriously draining on their mental capacity.
I'm sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if I had the money, I'd be like, yeah, man, what do you need? You need $1 million? Let's go build you a house.
Right.
Money stays here on this earth. There's only 2 things you take when you die. Only 2 things. It's your wisdom and your relationships. That's it.
Have you heard of Bob Dalton, Sackcloth and Ash? He started a company. He started making blankets for veterans, and it turned into a multi-million-dollar business. And it's a philanthropic operation. He's not in it for the money. He's in it to change the equilibrium of society, which is awesome. And it sounds very similar to what your goal is. It's pretty inspiring stuff.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I mean, I'm just one guy, right? And I think that we all have the desire to do it. We all want to help people. We all want to see other people thrive, right? We do. It's just taking that action, right? And that's why there's that 1% that really do. A lot of people think about it, they just don't act on it. We just got to start getting strong enough and believe in ourselves that we can do it.
Oh, you say you're only one man, so there's 3 here.
Yeah, there you
We're
go.
actually combining forces, right, to try to enact some type of positive change in the world.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I see that this collaboration essentially is that I'm providing the atmosphere, the environment, the education, however you want to call it, to put people in the community to experience some uncomfortable situations and then deal with that using the physical medium to deal with this better, right?
Yeah.
And then to have you there with your offerings as an assistance to help someone work through those issues maybe a little easier.
I loved what you just said is getting people used to the uncomfortableness. That's something that I think is like another thing, right, with society, that we're so conditioned that we have to feel comfortable.
Right.
Even if it's a negative situation and that's something that we grew up with, there's a lot of childhood trauma that's out there. And if it's something that we're comfortable with, even though that we know that it's causing us harm physically and mentally, we're still going to stay there.
Yeah.
Because we're not trained, we're not conditioned, and we're not taught how to make the uncomfortable, to break those cycles, to become more comfortable. Because after a while, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, everything that you do, right, with the uncomfortable, pretty soon, if you stay with it, becomes comfortable.
Yes.
And then it's just like, all right, Brandon, it's time to make it. Let's bump it up.
Right.
Let's take it to the next level. Then it's like, oh, now I'm going to be uncomfortable again. You're like, perfect.
Yeah.
Great. Awesome. So we need to be comfortable with the uncomfortableness.
Yes.
Right.
Find comfort in discomfort.
Exactly.
That's where growth happens.
That's
in
exactly
discomfort.
right.
That's the key. So becoming, like you said, you start looking forward to that.
Oh,
taking
I love
yourself out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Putting yourself into a situation where you're going to be uncomfortable because you know that's going to lead to rapid growth and change. It's just, it's a major vibe shift that has to happen.
It does. Yeah, I was actually talking to my film guy. He's also like really huge into health, and he's had some family stuff come up, and so he kind of got away from it for a little bit, and he was starting to eat a lot of junk and a lot of just things that are not healthy for you. And he told me, he's like, Brandon, and he's like, I have to call you. I got to talk to you. I'm like, what's up? And he goes, I feel so great today. And I'm like, yeah, what'd you do different that you haven't done in the past? And he goes, I, as you know, been eating and drinking pretty horribly lately. But this morning I got up, I decided that I was going to work out, and I wasn't going to drink as much coffee as I usually do. He's like addicted to coffee, and that's just how it is. And he goes, but I decided just to drink my Squatch Juice and work out and get some stuff done. And I had a really good breakfast, and it was a really healthy. And I feel like 100 times better. And he goes, I can't believe like how important it is for us to stay healthy. And it's just like, that's awesome. So like if we could just have that same mentality, if we can get up and have that kind of that same thing of like, hey, it's an action. It's something that we have to commit to. And if we commit to it, it takes 21 days to form and break a habit. Pretty soon you're going to be doing it on a daily basis without even like, you're just going to get up. You could literally be sleepwalking and just get it done. If you do it enough. You know what I'm talking about.
Repetition.
Consistency.
And most people don't know what it feels like to actually feel good.
Yes.
Or aren't aware of their capacity to feel good. And almost like we talked about the chronic illness and how.
Well, like you said, we're hijacked. The dollar sign is taking precedent over anything else. Now, there's companies, organizations, people out there are chasing after that dollar and taking advantage of the people to get that dollar. So the screens, the food, the what else is there? Even clothing, even the material items we have around, those make us feel comfortable and take advantage of our brains and our bodies so that we're essentially cash cows for those people who are chasing after the money.
Yeah, we're the users. I mean, we're literally addicted to our phones, by design, even by definition. We're a civilization of users, and it's an abusive cycle that we're trapped in.
And because of our decreased mental and physical health, we're essentially on the back end, because we're sick, we're told to get these solutions, these drugs, whatnot.
Yeah.
So in all, then we're fed this crap food, essentially fed this crap media, and then to solve the problem, we're fed these drugs, and because of these drugs, then you turn into what's called a polypharmacy.
Yep.
Right. You take drug after drug after drug for all the side effects, dealing with all those other ones.
Yep.
And it's basically we're just kept alive to pump money out of us so that those people can benefit. Now, can we basically free people from that cycle, from those chains?
Yeah.
Right. Of being taken advantage of.
And I think we are. We've seen.
Yeah, we are. Definitely.
Yeah, for sure. And you made a good point, right? It's just like these pharmaceutical companies come after me. I don't really care, because the truth is this, like the pharmaceutical companies are literally killing you. You think that some of your meds are actually, so there are going to be some meds that will take you and will make you stay alive. There are those conditions. I get that. But for the most part, like if you are taking some sort of a vitamin to take another vitamin or take another prescription or like another pill because you have a side effect from the other one, I'm telling you right now, like start looking at the homeopathic way, start looking at the natural way, because you're going to find yourself that you don't need those. You're going to save a ton of money and you're going to save your life and you're going to feel so much better. There's a reason why they're not teaching us and coaching us on homeopathic or like the natural things. I'm telling you right now, I believe in God. I believe in a higher power. And, you look at Einstein, he said, the more that I studied the universe, the more that I found that there was a divine power. right? Like there has to be something. We don't just like all of a sudden poof, we're here. Like it just doesn't happen, right?
Right.
And we are so limited on what we can take in, obtain, and retain. And so the fallacy of like there's no such thing as a higher power. I think like, in my opinion, do some soul searching, man. Go do some things because there's some stuff out there. Like if you really look at it, you can't explain other than like that's a higher being. Getting off another tangent, but what I was trying to say is God put things on earth for us to use naturally for a purpose. Go seek those out. Like there's so many things like Mullen. Man, like I had no idea. Like I got super sick. My buddy gave me some Mullen. He goes, light this on fire, put it out, and like let it smoke in like into the room. You're not going to be congested anymore.
Is it that root?
It's a natural
Mullen root?
weed. It's a natural weed. Yeah, I mean, it's just you can find it pretty much in the mountains anywhere. So then you grind it up, you let it dry, and then you light it on fire, and then you kind of let it smolder, and then the smoke like literally will help you breathe and it takes away your congestion.
Wow.
But here we are. Go get Sudafed. Go get Mucinex. Go get that. Oh man, I feel really, really sick. Oh well, because now you need this. I'm telling you guys, like do your research, find out what's natural, and go do it because that's so much better.
We've been systematically disconnected from nature, and can we get back to this symbiotic relationship between everything that lives and grows all around?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, we're like desensitized to, like you said, reality, to this gift that we're surrounded by. Like you said, this world there's a divineness to it. There's something surreal. There's something, like you said, waking up and being grateful for that, like finding gratitude for that every morning, and like opening your eyes and instead of turning to your phone or the news feed, just look outside and like look at the sky and wonder. And that, like you said, that'll cultivate that connection with the unknown, with the God force, with that Christ consciousness, whatever that is out there, right? Yeah, the Creator, and it's inspiring. And it changed my life. Like every morning is a gratitude session for me. I begin with just the breath. I'm gratitude for my breath, for being alive, and I'm gratitude for my children, and then it just flows from there, and it becomes a trickle becomes a flood, and it changes everything. It changes your whole perspective.
I love it. You just keep doing it, right? How long have you been doing it now?
Let's see. I started the sacred medicine path about 6 years ago.
Okay.
So I would go on like ayahuasca retreats, and that really broke some pretty severe patterns that I was living with. But I'd say in the last year has been amazingly transformative. That's when I've really made the connections. Without the medicine. The medicine's all around us. The medicine's how we live, how we think, and how we conduct our lives. And that's, I'd say in the last 6 months even, just this cycle of gratitude and the way it makes me feel every day, and being accountable for your health, your mental health, your physical health. I mean, we're powerful people. We're powerful beings. And it's just a matter of breaking away from these shackles that have been kind of created in the name of money and profit. It's like it's an awesome time to be alive, but it's also terrifying because we are at a very fragile moment, and I feel like there's a shift towards awakening. Yeah, and it's not just like you said, it's God in the most broad sense. It's not just a religion, but it's just an awareness of what's out there and what we really are and why we're here. And finding that purpose, because it sounds like you found your purpose, and that's super inspiring. It sounds like you've tapped into that sense of, this is who I am, this is what I need to do. Yes. More than it is, like you said, it's not about the money necessarily. That's just a byproduct, right? It's a resource. It's a natural resource like anything else that comes through being, right? Yep. So that's really inspiring that you found that purpose. How did you obviously you said that there's been trauma. We talked about trauma here before plenty of times. What is the driving force to continue doing this?
So for the longest time, I've always kind of felt like I was meant to do more, right? I've done so many different jobs throughout my whole entire life, and I'm like, I just am not fulfilling my purpose, my need. And so there's been so many times that I've been thinking, like, what can I do to make an impact on this world? What can I do to help people in a positive light? Because I got tired of all the negativity, right? So I like brainstormed for many, many years. And then the tragedy hit, and then it just was one thing after another. And then it just kind of dawned on me. It's just kind of like, well, what are we doing why is there a pattern with all of this, right? Like one of my friends who took his life had a monster in his hand, walked out and took his life, right? And you start looking at like these ingredients in these energy drinks and they're just not good, right? So for me, I wanted to do something that was going to change the world. And before my dad passed, I was very close with him. We have, 6 brothers, and I was probably the closest out of all of them. And we had a little practice going on financial planning called Summit Retirement Advisors here. Very successful at one point before the crash in 2008. And one thing that he told me was, if you're going to do anything at all with your life, make sure that you're doing it for the right reason, and that reason's to help other people. And when you put people first, then the money is going to come. If you make it about the money, then it's not going to come. So you always got to put the people first, always. And so that's when I started kind of looking into it. And that's when I was like, this is my purpose. Like I ran into an old friend of mine that I grew up with, and he's been very, very successful throughout his life in the food industry. And so he's got a lot of connections. And I said, this is what I would like to do. I just don't know where to start, because I'm starting to see a pattern with what we're eating, with whole food and then beverage. And we drink about 80% more than we would eat a whole food. We just drink more. There's a lot more fluid. And so he's like, well, I got a guy, and I think that you're on the right path. And that's kind of where it all stemmed from. And then it just turned into what my mission was. I'm like, this is it, right? I'm 41. I did not go to college. Okay. And that's a whole nother conversation of why I didn't go and what I believe in college is. But when I found this, like, it was just like my aha moment. And this was like, this is why I was here. Like, this is my purpose, is to get out there and work with people like you. And create these relationships, get the message out there like, hey, we can become a better people. We can become a better nation. We can become a better whole if we just do these things and educate and elevate and inspire. And so that's what's driving me, is because when I get these testimonials, when I see these reviews coming in, and I got customers calling me that I have no idea who they are, and they're just reaching out saying, your product has changed my life. And I'm just like, that's it. Like, that is why I'm doing this. Like, I will not put out a bad product. And I'm not going to sit here. It's my product. I came out with it. I know that it's probably like, oh, he's just biased. He just literally, I would not do this if I did not think that it was good. Right. Because it's not about the money. And we give out so much product for free. We do. And it really does hurt us as a company, because when we give out a lot of product for free, that's another thing a lot of people don't understand. It's like, well, give me some free samples. Give me some of that stuff. Like, I would love, like I said, if I had all the money in the world and I'd be like, here you go, take it, because I know it's going to make you better. I don't. If I can't recoup the funds, I can't make more to help other people.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, guys, like, I'm sorry, I would love to, but if you want it and you're seeing this benefit from it, we need to help your friend. We need to help your neighbor. We need to help your family member. And for me to be able to do that, I need to have those funds.
It's not charity, it's reciprocity. Reciprocity is how it works.
That's exactly right.
You have to give and then receive, and that's just the cycle. And everybody wins.
Yeah.
Win-win is the way.
Exactly.
It's the only way to sustain this. So when you started doing this and you said that this is my purpose, like what does that feel like? What's that tether? Like, what's that moment where it's like, you know that this is the way you have to go?
Man, so, okay. We all hear and we all talk about being in tune with the universe, being in tune with, like, your spirit and, like, all that stuff, right? Your body, mind, all that. I'm in tune. And, like, the feeling, like, finding your purpose, it brings you, like, wholeness, right? Because I think a lot of people are out there doing the 9 to 5, which is fine, which is great. If that's what you like doing, you go out and doing your 9 to 5 thing, then great. But if you feel there's an emptiness, if you feel like there's something that's missing in your life, go find it, pursue it, and be persistent. Don't give up. And when you find it, you're going to be like, I am whole. And then you will find out who you are. And then you're also going to find out who your real friends are. Yep. And then you're going to find out who even your families, like your family members are. And if you start down this journey and you start going down this path and you're seeing that it's benefiting other people, and then you start seeing people getting jealous, if you're seeing people start getting like angry, because that's the thing is it's human nature is as much as a lot of people want to say, I want to see you succeed. I have found I've lost a lot of friends doing this because they get jealous. And they're like, I can't believe that you found your purpose. I can't believe that you found success. How dare you? It's not fair. Yeah. I'm in this life. I'm like, well, that's because of you. It's in here. You need to change that. Yeah. Like manifestation's a real thing. If you're going to sit here and you're going to sit here and stew in negativity, you're going to have negativity.
Of course.
That's just how it works. Yep. You know, like if you just got to get out and you got to do something different, be uncomfortable with the comfortable, like being comfortable with the uncomfortable, right? Like we were talked about. But man, like you just feel centered, you feel whole, you feel enlightened and inspired. And you know that this isn't for you. This is for everybody. And when you actually open yourself up to that network, if you open yourself up to that divine power, whatever you want to believe that is, okay? And you start noticing like I have a purpose in life that's changing people's lives. It's not about you. You had the idea, right? But that idea came in because of something else. And then you acted on it, and then you did it, and then you executed, right? It's because that is that higher power saying, I want to help through you.
Yes,
right.
You're the medium or the channel.
The channel.
For that good to go through. Right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Oh, it does. Yeah. Absolutely.
You know, a lot of people are working their 9 to 5s, right?
Yeah.
They don't know if they're working their purpose or not, and fulfilling their mission or not.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of cognitive dissonance going through their heads. As soon as you start to choose that passion, that pathway, that mission, then you're more at peace. You don't have that cognitive dissonance anymore. You're straight on. You know what you're doing in your life, and that's what I'm doing right now.
Like you said, it's not for everybody.
Yeah,
it's not.
There's billions of people, and are we all destined to, change the world? I don't necessarily know if that's true or not. I don't believe that, honestly. But I do. Yeah. But I do believe that a lot of us get a calling, and so I think purpose is like a moving target. It's also it's alive. It's like it's changing. It's evolving at all times.
Yep.
How has yours changed since the beginning? Is it just this static driving force, or has it has it been changing for you?
No, it's been changing. There's a lot of different ideas that I keep coming up with of what we could do to actually start helping people, not just through the Squatch Juice, right? But it's also through like activities. It's also like what we can do to collaborate with people. So there has been some things that I've been kind of working on and trying to expand myself, if you will. And it's through doing this and evolving, like you said. And it's just kind of like, wait a minute, like what if we did this instead of just, if you focus just on like the product, right, you're not going to make a difference, right? You've got to focus beyond the product. The product is just a vehicle, right?
Yes.
And so you've got to then start looking at like, what else can I do outside of this? And so there's a lot of other things that I'm kind of wanting to, I'm working on. It's like, I want to get into public speaking, and I want to go out there and just make a difference, especially with younger people, right? Like our younger people are our future. It really is. Unless there's a catastrophic something happens in this world, or all of a sudden we're all like extinct and we're wiped off the face of the earth, our kids are going to be the next future. What does that look like? What are we doing right now to prepare them? And we're not really doing anything besides, hey, go to school. You got to be a yes ma'am, yes sir, answer those questions, and like you can't deviate from it. You can't think outside the box. You just got to go to work and accept a paycheck. Right. Like we're not doing anything to broaden the horizon of our young people, and they're freaking smart.
Right.
Like they're so much more intelligent than I think we do know. I think that what scares us, honestly, is because, think about it. You look at the older generation, right? It's super simple. Like, this is how basic it is. You give a gentleman who's in his 70s an iPad. What do they do with it? Throw it on the ground, like, what the freak is this? I don't know how to work this thing.
Right.
You literally can give a 6-month-old or a 1-year-old an iPad.
And figure out within minutes.
Master. And I'm just, how did you do that? So I am telling you right now, with Evolve, everything evolves, and you have to learn to adapt, and you have to learn how you can actually reposition yourself and pivot, right? There's been a lot of things that I've learned through this is like, oh, that's a brick wall. I can't do that. Like, oh, I thought this was going to work, but it didn't work. But I'm not going to let that, stop me. How can I pivot and move on to the next? right?
Right.
And so like that right there is like you have to learn how to pivot, and by pivoting, all of a sudden you're going to have different ideas, right? Like as much as anybody and everybody hates or loves Mark Zuckerberg, right? He does make some really good, compelling points. He's like, I didn't start out with the idea of Facebook. It evolved. And it goes, I wasn't even doing that at first. And then like an idea led to it, and then another idea, and then another idea, and then Facebook was born. And so you've got to be willing to step outside your comfort zone, right? You have to be willing to take those chances and be adaptable, right? Like my team, they come to me and they're just like, why are you always making so like fast decisions? Like why? Like you literally get an idea and like you just make a decision. I'm like, well, number one, like I have a lot of education, like through helping other businesses and through like the hard knock life college, if you will, like to make a pretty educated decision. But even if it's not going to work out, hey, I know it didn't work out and we can move on. So, and it's been proven that if you are a fast actor, if you move on like an idea and you do something really, really quick to learn from it, whether it worked or it didn't, you're going to be a lot more successful in life than sitting there thinking about it and stewing about it and then taking weeks, months, years to make that decision. Because by the time it takes you a week, I'm not saying this is just you, I'm just like you in general, but if you have an idea and it takes you a week to act on it, and I've acted on 3 of my ideas within that same week, I will be far and more like further ahead than you. And that's just how it is.
That's huge. That's a huge point you just made, I think, is that decisiveness, being decisive.
Yeah.
Make a decision, stick with it, and see what the results are and learn from it. That's huge. That's massive. I hope people are paying attention.
Yeah, we talked about this last time where you're basically engaging in the scientific method every single moment of your day. And then when it comes to business or life decisions, you're making those predictions and you're getting those results quickly and you're acting on them, making decisions based on those. That's what you're doing every day with your business, for example.
Well, business and life. I mean, there's a lot of things that we're going to come up across, right? There's going to be some really big decisions that we're going to have to make. Do I marry this person? Do I divorce this person? Do we have kids? Do we not have kids? Do we buy this house? Do we not buy this house? Like there's always going to be these decisions, right? But the thing is this, is like if you have enough information to make some sort of an educated decision,
then take it.
Then take it.
Yeah.
The thing that we've also been taught in society is that we need to fear fear. If you fail, you're a failure. And we're going to ridicule you and we're going to judge you. Who cares what people think?
Right.
Like the only people that should really care about like what's going on is like your spouse and the people who are close to you, and more importantly, just you, right? Like this is your life. This is your mission. And if you're not taking chances and if you're not going out in the world saying, I'm looking to fail, right? Then you're failing.
Right.
You got to go and I'm not acting like, I'm not saying like go act and search for failure, but go out and try something knowing like it's a risk. I love it. Like, have you guys ever seen, I love movies because there is a lot of like hidden messages in movies. I love it. And like, there's a lot of like aha moments, right? It's just kind of like, there's some like really great, but I'm trying to think of what it's, oh my gosh, I can't think of it. Like where they go into like the deep realm and like they go into like sleep mode. And they're
Inception?
Inception.
Okay.
So Inception, they're getting out of the helicopter, right? And the guy says, I have a job for you. And if you do this, I can set you free, right? And then it cuts to the clip and you have his buddy that's over there and he's just like, don't do it, man. We got to go. And then it says like, that's the 9 to 5. That's the normal, like that's what you're comfortable with. And then it goes back to, I don't know his name. I'm not an actor name guy, but it goes back to the guy and he turns around and he looks at him and goes, how do I know that you will deliver? How do I know that you can keep your promise? And the guy's like, you don't, but I can. And then like, that's what we've got to like,
interesting,
really put our mindset to. It's just like, there is no certainty, but only in the uncertainty of knowing that like, if I don't go out and do this, that's what's going to be certain. You've got to go out there and make a difference in not just anybody else's life, but for your own.
It's like, how do you even break through that? How do you teach someone to do that? Other than, but for you know, it's like a leap of faith. You just go through it, and then you start seeing the growth that comes through it. But yeah, I don't know. How do you help other people do that?
It's a step-by-step process.
Conditioning.
And it's not like all of a sudden you take this massive leap. You've got to take small leaps. Then all of a sudden you can start seeing like this is working. And then you're going to be more believing. You're going to see a lot more, whatever you want to call it, success, right? Everybody has their own definition of what a success is. But if you start out small and you start setting those small goals and then you say, hey, I made this, let's move on to the next. It's just with conditioning. It's just like with anything else. You've got to condition yourself, just like what he said. You've got to start out small and then you got to build up to where you want to be. Now, once you get to that spot where you want to be, then that's where you can stay content and you can go live like in the top of the mountains in a nice meadow with a nice log like house, whatever that may look like for you. And you're just are out there chilling with the butterflies, whatever that may look like for you. But you've got to make sure that you're just doing it step by step, right?
Yeah.
And know it's going to be okay,
Yep.
right? Something that I've also learned, and I love just watching and hearing very successful people, and it's not because they make a ton of money, it's because they figure out what life is about. That's something that I did sit down and I wanted to like talk to my kids about. It was like, guys, I'm doing this to show you that you don't have to go to college. You don't have to. Like, if you want to become a doctor, if you have like a specific thing that you want to go to school for, then go for it. If you're just going to go to get your generals, you're wasting your time,
And
literally,
money.
and
Yes.
money.
Yes.
And you can do anything that you put your mind to.
Excellent. Yeah.
And so like that's kind of what I've been like trying to show them is like if you have a passion, if you have a dream, then I want you guys to go pursue it.
And you're providing the opportunity to know that there's many options. It's not just go this one way of high school, college, whatever job.
Yep.
You can go as a kid now, high school, internship, trade school, that whole route, right? There's many
Yep.
things you can do as a solo entrepreneur, right? Do anything, given the opportunity to figure out what works for them and what drives them,
Yep.
right? And anyway, I commend you for that.
Oh, well, thanks.
And I'm curious. So throughout the development of Squatch Juice, I love asking these kind of questions. Throughout the development and the idea and creating this, what's been like one of the most scary moments for you during this whole thing?
Man, you're going to come across scary moments in stages, right? So the first stage was coming up with the idea and then finding somebody that could help you with that. Like, I'm going to take a leap of faith. I'm going to try to do something that I've never done before. I'm going to tell you right here, right now, I've been in finances and banking and financial planning and dealing with money for almost 30 years. I did not go to school to be a nutritionist. I did not go to school to be a dietitian. I did not go to school to learn any of this stuff. I have taken 2 years and dedicated my life to learning as much as I can about each and every one of these ingredients, how we're better, how we're different, how we can become better than everybody else. And it's working through also relationships, doctors, nutritionists, and all that stuff, and working with great people like Albert here to become a professional, become the expert, right? But you're going to have stages. In any business you start, you're going to have a stage, right? So then all of a sudden it's like, okay, I have an idea. How do I execute that? Then you execute it, right? And then it's going to be like, okay, if I execute that, how am I going to get the product? How am I going to get the funding for that? I was very fortunate because of the relationships that I have that I was able to do this completely unconventional. A lot of people have to come up with like $500,000
Right.
or $1 million to get into this. Mine was just like, hey, I know you, or I know you through a friend, and it was through the connections that I have. It was just like, let's start this way. And I started out with 50 tubs. It was like $1,000. I'm like, okay, $1,000 out of my own pocket. I sold those like, I was at Huckleberry Days and like 2 years ago, and I sold out in like 2 hours.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay,
There's something to this.
there's something to this. My idea's working. And I did it, like I went to a sticker place, I got stickers and I did my own labeling, like super janky, right? Just not like what you would think, right? Definitely not against code for any, like if like the FDA came after me, like I would have been screwed. But I learned throughout the process, right? So then I went from, 50 units to 250 units to 500 units. Now we're up to 5,000 units. And now we're getting up to 10,000 units. And you start looking at that, that's like $200,000 to $500,000 now that I have to put in almost every other month in orders.
Incredible.
So all of a sudden, like you start seeing that, it's like, okay, so now the next thing is how do we get more people to know about Squatch Juice, right? So that's another hurdle that you're going to have to come across, right? And that's why social media and that's why online is so important, and relationships. Because when you have a product like this or anything like that, and it's not just going to be like helping just your community, but your entire world. You've got to get the message out. So then it's just like, how do I do that, right? So then I started seeking out, my really good friend Ryan, who I knew who was a huge YouTuber, and he's got a lot of followers. He's got a lot of connections. I'm like, can you help me, right? So then boom, that's how we did it. And then it was like, okay, well now we need to like get super professional. We need to get the packaging done. We need to get this done. How do we do that? And then it's boom, boom, boom. The biggest thing too is like, you're going to come up, your life cycle is going to be great idea. Boom. You're going to be up here and be like, oh, I'm just killing it. Then all of a sudden you're going to crash, right? And like what that crash is going to be, it's going to be, I don't have enough funds if you have a great product for the demand, right? That's one way of getting down here. And just like, how do I overcome the cash flow? Because that's going to be your number one killer when it comes to a small business. And I'm telling you right now, like that's where we're at.
Okay.
Like we're at the cash flow process. Like it's like now I have to front load where I haven't had to front load before. I could buy, sell what I needed to, and then buy another with the profits of the sales.
Right.
But now, because we're selling out so fast, it takes about 8 to 12 weeks to get the product. I need to come up with another order to be able to fulfill when I sell out.
Wow. Gotcha. Yeah.
And so it's just like, what am I going to do? Am I going to get a loan? I really don't want to get a loan, right? I think that if you're a small business and you're starting out and you need to go get a loan, I don't want to say that you're stupid, but I just want to say you're probably not doing it right. Now, I did have my brother, he did lend me some money for the first huge order that we had, but he's also going to be part of the business, right?
Right.
And I was just like, hey, I don't have this type of capital. Like I've been doing 15, maybe 30,000 was my max that I was able to do. And I was like, but now we are like triple that and I need some help. Right. But then if you can overcome the cash flow with the product and you've got a product that's, is great and it's moving, and you're changing the world and you've now got a following and you've got a brand, right? That's one thing that I love too, is like, I realized this, like if you have a customer who buys your product, right? You got a customer. Awesome. Now, if you have the customer come back and buy again, now you've got a product, right? Now, if that customer is now telling their friends and they're still buying, now you created a brand. And that's what we've done. Nice. In 2 years.
Nice. Incredible. 2 years.
In 2 years. And, in 2 years, we're going to be doing what a business would be doing in their 10th year. And it's because of the relationships, and it's because we're grateful for our blessings. We're grateful for the connections. We're grateful for where we've been. We're grateful for the setbacks. We're grateful for the things that we have overcome. Right? Because all of that has shaped us to who we are today. It's helped us overcome some things of like, how can we make this better? How can we make this more engaging? How can we help other people? Like when I bring people onto Squatch Juice and I bring them onto my team, like this is kind of like, I don't know, sorry, kind of going off like on a whole tangent.
Not at all.
That's all good.
But when I bring people onto my team, I always sit down with them. I'm like, what is your life goal? What do you want out of life? Like, what is your passion? Right?
Great.
Squatch Juice, I want to be able to have that be the vehicle for that. If you want a healthier lifestyle, if you want this, if you want that, like I want to, like one of my girls, she's like, I want to learn and become a really good videographer and take care of my family because my family means everything to me. I'm like, then that's great. We can do that. Let's do it. So I want to know what other people's passions and what they want out of life, because you will get anything out of life you want as long as you help other people get what they want.
That's right.
And I know people are going to want to know, I want to know, Squatch Juice, like the brand. What's the inspiration? Where'd that come from?
So I've always loved Squatch, right? And I think that that's one thing too, that when you want to create something, you have to have it resonate with people. And you have to, there's 7 touches when it comes to making a sell. So the person's got to see it, taste it, hear it, think about it, and whatever, right? There's 7 things they have to go through before they buy. One of them is actually making something that's going to be remembered, right? Everybody loves Sasquatch. Name one person that doesn't like Sasquatch. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
And when you think about a Sasquatch as well, and I'm going to tell you the story of how I came up with it, because I just think that Sasquatch is the epitome of what we all face on a daily basis. And I'll tell you why. So how I came up with it is I'm wearing my dad's ring today. And he gave this to me before he passed. He said, would you like my ring? And I said, sure. Now, he had some fat fingers, and I've got woman hands. I'm not going to lie. And I had to go get it resized, but I was waiting to put an ivory in it. And so I've been very fortunate, very blessed to be able to be successful with harvesting elk in the last 5-6 years, right? So on his birthday, I'm always up in the mountains on his birthday, September 23rd, always. I feel closer to him and to my Savior up there. And I was able to harvest this bull.
Wow.
And I got the tooth, and then I went to my buddy who owns a jewelry store, and I had him remake the ring. So he took the diamonds off the top and put the ivory on top and then put the diamonds on the side.
Nice.
And then he made it to fit my small fingers. And so when I was chasing after this bull, I was literally trying to climb this mountain that was super, super steep, and I was super tired. And I'm an archery guy. I'm not a rifle guy. And I had my pack on, and I took some energy. I took another energy drink. I'm not going to say what it was, but man, I felt like garbage right after I took it. And I was like, man, if I could just have the energy and focus and stamina of a Sasquatch, I can just like run up this. I mean, we've all seen those videos, right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you see the Sasquatch just running up this terrain like it's nothing. So I'm just like, man, that's what I need. And I was like, wait a minute, Squatch Juice. And then it's just like he's strong, he's adaptable, he's persevering, he overcomes all the obstacles. He's just one of those characters that you would like to become, right? In a way, if you think about it. And then he finds everything naturally out in the woods, and I'm like, it's all natural, and it's juice. Tastes just like juice. It's not going to be, it tastes like sweat. Okay, it tastes like juice. So that's kind of how I came up with it, for just a couple of different things. So yeah, you want to make it memorable. You want to make it be able to stick out in people's minds, Sasquatch.
Yeah.
And then the story behind it, and then like how I came up with it.
Yeah, it's like a
Wow.
superpower. Become the Squatch. Yeah, I love it.
I just am grateful for it, man. Like there's been a lot of trials, because not everybody sees your vision, not everybody sees your dream, and sometimes you do feel alone. And sometimes you're going to go through that period where you have to know, you have to believe in what you're doing is for a purpose. And if you don't do that, then you will be utterly alone, and don't let others dictate how you want to live your life.
That's a beautiful sentiment.
I like to think really, really deep, and the deeper that you go, there's a lot of things of how well we're connected, right? Like, is there like a multiverse? Is there all this other stuff, right? But if you really start thinking about time is made up. Time really does not exist.
No.
It doesn't. It's only made up because that's how we have to then like measure
Absolutely. Yeah.
our existence.
Yes.
Really.
By rotations.
By rotations, like in all of this stuff. Like
Yeah.
if you really want to like dive deep, you're like, this guy is crazy. Like, I'm dead serious. Go like study for yourself. Like, you start thinking about time is irrelevant. What's relevant is right here, right now.
Yes. Yes.
You can't change the past. You can't go back into time, right? You can't go back into the past. You can't go into the future, right? Unless we have a time machine, I guess, for both. And you can't do anything that's going to like change the past, right? And you can't go into the future and know what's going to happen. All you know and all you can do is focus on the present, the now, the here, and make it the best that it can be.
That's all there is this moment.
Yes.
Yes.
This moment. I know. It's
Yeah.
fascinating.
What we do right now is going to be setting a ripple throughout lifetime. And that ripple is going to be affecting so many other people. And it's not going to just be me and you. It's not going to just be me and you. It's not going to be the three of us. But this ripple, because here's the thing is, someone's going to listen to this podcast. Someone's going to say, okay, I can really learn from this. I'm going to start doing these things. And then all of a sudden, their people around them are going to feel it.
Yep.
And then they're going to feel it. And then they're going to feel it.
Right.
Dude, people just don't understand. Like, if people understood the principle and like the science between like our connectivity and like how we are the same, I think that we'd be
Someone's better off.
Yeah, exactly. But anyways, that's a whole nother tangent, but sorry.
Well, this was awesome. And is there anything that you want to share before we end? Is there anything else you want to cover? You want to share your socials or where people can come find you.
Well, if you just search Squatch Juice, you're going to find everything. I mean, we're on everything. We're on TikTok, we're on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. I mean, you name it, we're on everything. I've got 3 other podcasts out there: Squatch Juice, Beyond the Footprints, and then another one that I'm trying to get off is with mental health, which I've talked to you about.
Yep.
And that's Breaking Through, I think is what it's called.
Awesome.
I have to check on that. I think it's Breaking Through. But anyways, so the thing that I just would like to leave with this is my gratitude, my thanks to you, and my thanks to you, Albert. Thanks so much for this opportunity. And whoever is listening, before you move on to the next podcast, before you move on to a radio station, before you do anything, before you jump out of that car or you get off of your AirPods or whatever you're doing to listen to this, write down 3 things that you're grateful for. And really mean it and do it on a daily basis. Change your life.
Great message.
Excellent, you guys. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you. Appreciate it.